It me reporting whatever the fuck I want.
You don't own me.
Whatever.
You should be scared.
It's tea time.
Hello and welcome to Mad Hatter News. My name is Sarah and I'm an ex-Washington, D.C. news reporter turned Chicago-based comedian. Today, we're actually not going to be drinking tea. We're going to be drinking wine. This is the biggest news story in the United States that is not being reported on anywhere but here. So we definitely need some wine for this. Guys, we are 100% in danger in this country. This news story is being suppressed, and we definitely all need to pour a glass of wine before we listen to this. So I'm going to give you a second while I take a drink to pause and get a glass of wine for this, because I definitely need one. Okay, so let's get into it. Last year when Roe v. Wade was overturned, a lot of people were scared because they thought there would be an uptick in R words, grapes without the G, if you will. I don't know what kind of censorship we have on these platforms that Mad Hatter News is going to be streaming on, but you know what I mean. And people were gaslighting us, saying, oh, that's absolutely not going to happen. There's no such thing. Well, lo and behold, our fears were correct. There was a group that was called Rape Krieg. Krieg means war in German. It was headed by a man named Matthew Bellinger, who was Marine stationed on a base in Hawaii at the time. He organized a nationwide guerrilla warfare attack on majority white areas that had little to no access to abortion. They had organized this on the dark web. He had followers countrywide, and on a single day, they were going to mass R-word these areas to create races of white babies, to make more white people in the United States. And they were under direct order of Matthew Bellinger. If our husbands, brothers, sons came in our defense, they were to murder them on sight. So I was the only one that was reporting on this last year. You could not find this on Google. It was nowhere to be found. Now, I was banned from TikTok for reporting on this, and I was super, super pissed. And now that it's been a year since Roe v. Wade was overturned and I was banned on TikTok, I figured, hey, why don't I revisit this story and just still let everybody know that this was something that was about to happen. Even though he was caught by the FBI found him in his mama's basement on Long Island because he was hiding. And they extradited him back to Hawaii. So he was in prison. I was like, hey, people still need to know that this happened and it was being censored in the news and we were actually in great danger and we didn't even know. And a lot of our fears were correct. So I revisited the story this past week and I reported on it again, very, very censored this time. And a lot of people in the comment section were like, hey, you really need to look up Matt Bellinger on the federal prison website because he was released. And I'm like, there is absolutely no way this man was released. No way. This is a terrorist. This is someone who was going to blow up synagogues. He had plans to blow up synagogues. He was going to attack places that were minority groups and annihilate them. This was all planned. They had record of all of this. There's no way this guy is going to be released. Well, I looked at Matthew Bellinger online on the federal prison website, and lo and behold, he has been released. He was released on 3 years probation on June the 6th of this year. So when you are released on probation, you are paroled to an area where they know they're going to be able to keep an eye on you and you're going to be safe and in a controlled place. So I can only assume that he's back at his mama's house on Long Island because she was harboring her baby boy last time. He's just her baby boy. So if you're on Long Island, yeah, this guy's probably in your neighborhood. When I found out about that this week, I posted it at 11 p.m. right when I found out about it. And by 3 a.m., it already had over 250,000 views and TikTok took it down. So they are definitely censoring this story. This man is a terrorist. He has been released amongst us. We don't even know what he looks like. The only picture that exists of him is from a Nassau County, which is a community newspaper in Long Island. And they only have a picture of him with his face half covered with a mask. They are hiding this man. They don't want us to know what he looks like. You wouldn't be able to tell him from Adam. I'm going to show the picture of him on the screen right now. The only picture that exists is in that Nassau County newspaper, and here with me on Mad Hatter News. Why am I the only one reporting this? Why is CNN not reporting? Why isn't this all over the news? This man is being protected by who? So I look a little bit deeper, and guess what I found? The NYPD was supplying Matt Bellinger with assault rifles. There is a newspaper article about this, and I'm going to show it on the screen right now. I'm going to show all of my sources on the screen right now. So if you are listening on Spotify, definitely follow and subscribe on YouTube at Mad Hatter News under Tea Time with Sarah, because I'm showing all of my sources for this on Tea Time with Sarah for Mad Hatter News. Yeah, the NYPD was in on this. So what does that mean? I mean, were they going to do this to the United States of America, and when we call 911, the police weren't going to help us because they already knew it was happening? Or were the police going to join in? Who are we supposed to call when emergencies happen now? Ghostbusters? It's just, what is going on? Why am I the only one? Me? Sarah Holcomb? Why am I the only one reporting this? Me? It doesn't make any sense. Hello? I absolutely cannot believe this is happening. This is within our own borders. Who is censoring this? Who is protecting this man? This is like the beginning of Handmaid's Tale. I can't. America needs to wake TF up. There are almost 3,500 comments on this video right now. There's over 500,000 views on this video and 3,500 comments. There are people from Long Island saying that they are not believing this story. They just can't believe it's actually in their own community. They've never heard of this before. There's some people saying, I remember this. I couldn't find a thing on Google about it. I was so scared that I kept my daughter home from school. I live in Georgia. Georgia was one of the areas that they were going to attack in mass because Georgia has the strictest abortion laws in the country. So this group was going to be attacking Georgia. Some people are saying, I don't even see opposition on the other side anymore. The silence in all of this is so deafening. The men just don't see it as a big deal, just like they didn't see it as a big deal in Handmaid's Tale. This is not just possible. This was literally happening, and it is happening. Why is this man out of prison? What's going to happen after he gets off of probation in 3 years? There are people still in prison for marijuana right now. Why is this man out of prison? Why is this man out of prison? Why is he amongst us? Why don't we know what he looks like? Why is the NYPD in on this? Why are the police supplying him with guns? What is going on? How did he get all of this military equipment? What is happening? We need to start asking questions. Some people are saying this is quite insane. On a separate random note, how do you get your hair so bright blue? Y'all are funny. They're saying thank you for staying strong and persistent and keeping on reporting on this story. I can't believe that I am the only one reporting on this. Me, on my little YouTube page, on my little Spotify podcast, on my little TikTok, I'm reporting on this. It's insane. Why me? Why am I the only one reporting on this? Am I just too ignorant to my own danger right now? Probably. I mean, some people were saying, I followed you last year because you spoke up about this. I'm glad you're speaking up again. I will never stop running my mouth, to be honest. I'm always going to say what I think, and I'm going to report and expose. I'm going to expose everyone in power. I'm going to expose all of the news stories that you need to know. The thing is, and this is something that I really want people to understand about me, I am a patriot, period. I grew up in a military family. My dad grew up in a military family. My mom grew up in a military family. My family has been in the United States since the early 1700s, and we can trace it back to then. There even is one part of my family that has been here since the late 1600s. I mean, way before this nation was ever America as we know it now, before the Declaration of Independence was signed. I am American, born and bred through and through. I have, Native American in my family as well. We are a very patriotic family. So I'm glad that I grew up in a family like that. I fully believe in what our country was supposed to be, which is equality for all, a nation that is free, a nation where people don't have to worry, a nation where people are taken care of, a nation where people are safe, and that is not what we are now. And I'm mad about that. In fact, I think that all of us are truly patriots and we forgot what patriotism means. Because at the end of the day, that's what we all want, right? We want a nation that is like what I just described. But that's not what we have. We are a fascist country right now. We are under fascism. There is a regime that is an unspoken regime, but we are under it, and we need to wake the fuck up. I think that as patriots, we need to take back our country. By the way, if you want to follow me on TikTok to see what news stories we're going to be covering in Mad Hatter News, follow me on TikTok at Tea Time with Sarah, _with_Sarah, and you will see me then. I'm really feeling this wine now, y'all. So people are saying this is horrifying. Rapists are choosing the mother of their children now. Yeah, rapists can just pluck someone off the street and choose them to be the mother of their child. And then we're forced to have their child. That's really what this is looking like. What is this? Other countries overseas are looking at this like, what the literal F is going on? What is going on in the United States of America? Some people are saying there are a lot of very corrupt groups within our military. Nobody's investigating them. This unlocked a memory. I remembered your first post on this and then you getting banned. People are remembering me getting banned for this, and I'm talking about it again, and the video was taken down. I can't believe they took that video down. It was not necessary for them to take it down. I was just reporting to the public what was going on. If you want to look up this story, these articles are on Google now. Like, you can find the articles that I was referencing from last year, but they were not on Google last year. You could not find them. There is a literal terrorist that has been released amongst us. He's likely in Long Island right now in his mama's house, and we are not safe, especially when he gets off of probation in 3 years, which is going to be 2026. They're not going to be following up on this guy anymore. He's not even going to be on their radar. And he has contacts with the NYPD. And I'm sure he has contacts with other police departments that we don't even know about. There are a lot of people with a lot of power that are probably behind this, and that's the whole reason why we can't see his face on Google. What is going on? Somebody's saying, can we just wipe out men and live out the rest of our days in peace? I wish, Kelsey. This was not just an attack against women. This was an attack against every single race, man, woman, child, whatever you identify as. This was a war against them. Anyone who is not a white man was in danger. And the white men were the majority in this group. In fact, it was a neo-Nazi group, so they were all white men. People in the comments are saying they just see women as baby-making objects. It's so gross. And men have the unmitigated gall to act offended when we don't trust them. Men are not on our side with this, but guess what? They were going to come for you too. So if you came in your wife's defense, if you came in your daughter's defense, they were going to take you out. It's time to stand up, people. some people are saying, oh, they have his ass locked up tight at Leavenworth. And I'm like, no, they don't. He's been released on probation. They took my video about this down, but I'm not stopping. And they're like, oh my God, what? Yeah. So I'm going to make another video about this on TikTok. It's been taken down 3 times at this point. This is insane. Somebody's saying, where's the team of women seducing and luring these men to their deaths? It's time to act up. So National R-Word Day was a real thing. I'm livid. This makes me bloodthirsty. F these men. And I said these allies, quote unquote, aren't loud enough. They're definitely not loud enough. This is terrifying. This is absolutely terrifying. I don't even know if I want to report on anything else in this Mad Hatter News, because this is the main topic that we need to discuss today. It's absolutely insane that we are living in a country that is protecting this man, that has released him amongst us. We don't know where he is. We don't know what he even looks like. We don't know who he's connected to, but we do have a few examples of him being connected to police who are giving him assault rifles. Hello? I absolutely cannot. I can't. I can't. At this point, I'm gonna just drink straight out of the bottle. I'm just gonna. Yeah, so this is insane. Some people are saying, I had no idea that censorship was this prevalent. I was looking for the $6 billion in Ukrainian relief that was misappropriated, quote unquote, that just happened. And I had a hard time finding the info. Yeah, there was $6 billion that were misappropriated to Ukraine that we actually weren't supposed to send them. That happened recently. I did report on that as well. And we can't find too much of that information online. Something went down with $6 billion that should have gone to our schools within the United States. I mean, there are places in Oklahoma that are talking about going to a 4-day school week. And that's not a good thing, because Oklahoma schools are complete. They are the state superintendent for the schools in Oklahoma, his name is Ryan Walters, and I've been reporting on him for a while. They are going to a 4-day school system they're talking about, but they are burning books in the school systems there. And some of these books definitely shouldn't have been in schools because they have pornographic stuff going on in some of the books. Like, there's actual illustrations of some pornographic stuff. Of course, it was a coming of age book that they're talking about, but there definitely shouldn't have been depictions of that in illustrations. I think that was a little overboard to go into a school personally, and I'm not on the right or the left. I'm just talking from a logical stance, from a point of view that I have. That definitely doesn't belong in school. So I can agree with him on there, but he's taken it so far to where they're burning books. They're taking so much out of the history books. They are accusing teachers of being pedophiles. Yeah. Just because they are respecting pronouns that the kids want them to use. If they use the word they, or they refer to someone as a she, if they were biologically male, if they are a trans child, these teachers are being called pedophiles. And Ryan Walters is going really hard on this. He is trying to change the schools in Oklahoma. So this is something that I reported on a while back. It's still going on right now. But, I mean, we kind of just segued into all these different things right now. But there's just so much going on in this country. There's so much that I report on my TikTok. So I highly encourage you to follow me at Tea Time with Sarah, teatime_with_Sarah. You'll see that on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. Follow me on there so you know what we're going to be talking about on Mad Hatter News on the Mad Hatter News podcast on Spotify. Follow that if you are listening to me on Spotify, and also hit that subscribe bell on YouTube because we are going to be reporting stuff every single week. Also want to mention that 27 children have gone missing in just the span of 2 weeks in Cleveland, Ohio. Yes, 27 children have gone missing in 2 weeks. And it is not on national news. And then they found out in the outskirts of Cleveland, there was an ex-superintendent and someone who is a teacher in middle schools in Cleveland who were just caught in a sting for sex trafficking. Finding these people out was a result of the Ohio Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. So they were definitely trafficking children. This was an ex-superintendent and a teacher from the schools in that area. I put 2 and 2 together. These were 2 separate news stories. I put these 2 separate news stories together. I'm just connecting dots here. I don't know if it's a high-functioning autism or what, but I am connecting dots all the time. There are patterns. We are finding things out. And there is a lot going on in the soft white underbelly of this nation. And we need to take a dagger and gut that shit. We need to gut it. And we need to gut it quick. Because it's like a cancer. All of these stories that I'm reporting on, all of this is like a cancer. And we know if we don't stop cancer until it reaches stage 4 is terminal. There's not much you can do when it's stage 3 or 4. But when you catch it in the first stage, you can do something. Some of the people were saying that why isn't the news reporting on the Matthew Bellinger story with the neo-Nazis and Rape Krieg? And I believe it's because of who owns the media and who also is in on this. I report a lot on who owns the media in our country. If you follow me on TikTok, go ahead and follow me on TikTok so you can hear some of my exposés. But we're also going to be talking about it on Mad Hatter News. So definitely hit that subscribe bell. That is really all I wanted to discuss on Mad Hatter News this week. There are other news stories, of course, that were on my page, but nothing as important as this. And I kind of feel like this deserves its own Mad Hatter News episode because it is such a big story. It is the only story that I feel like matters in our country right now, and it is not being reported on at all, which is absolutely insane. Send everybody this podcast, send everybody this YouTube video, save and share, send it everywhere, tell everybody, let everyone know about this. Matthew Bellinger is very likely on Long Island in his mama's basement, just like he was found by the FBI last time. He is on probation. The NYPD is in on this. The police are in on this. They are supplying him with assault weapons that are not available for regular people to buy. He's using military equipment. This is not okay. And in 3 years, what's going to happen? What's going to happen in 3 years when he's off probation? And you know when he is at his mama's house right now that he is organizing other things. Just because he's on probation doesn't mean he's not doing stuff behind the scenes. Doesn't mean he's not having somebody else leading these groups until he's off of probation in 3 years when he doesn't have to report anymore. What's going to happen then? What's going to happen then, baby? It is absolutely insane that I am the only one reporting this in the entire country. Why me? Me? Not CNN, not MSNBC, nowhere but here is reporting this. Nowhere but Mad Hatter News is reporting this. This is real madness. You want to talk about madness? You want to talk about mad news? This is madness. If you like this video, definitely give it a like. Subscribe if you want to hear more tea on Mad Hatter News. Definitely leave a comment on what you think about this. We will be drinking tea next time. As always, get your tea from wholelifetea.com. It is a small business based out of Utah. Miss Noelle is the small business owner, and she's been an herbalist for the past 10 years. Enter my code TEATIME on wholelifetea.com to get 20% off every single order so you can drink tea with me every time, even though this time we were definitely drinking wine because we needed it. Straight out of the bottle, I got rid of the glass because that was just, at this point, you just got to drink it out the bottle. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll be seeing you back here next time. Bye.